Good morning and welcome to Mayor's Weekly. Joining me today is Kathy Shambliss, a person you all know, our Chief Financial Officer and Clerk of the City. This morning we're going to talk about a subject that I had hoped was in our rearview mirror. Unfortunately, we know today that's not the case. The subject is COVID. Kathy, April, May came, and what we saw is the orders that were issued by our governor or whatever began to be relaxed or simply done away with, and today all of those things are gone, and those orders were far-reaching, and I'm not being critical of those. I think they all made sense. And it was my hope as life returned to normal that it was behind us, people going back to eat, doing whatever they do, put their mask away, and today it looks like the bear has reversed course and is headed back our way. And if you follow the news, and I hope you have, that we're having a resurgence that has a potential to rival COVID-1. I'll call it COVID-2. And I started thinking about this, and we'll talk a little bit about a mayor's authority, not David O'Meary's authority, but a mayor's authority, and Kathy Shambliss is an authority on what a mayor can do and what a mayor can't do, and her contribution this morning will be valuable, and everything she talks about, certainly in that regard. And so as I started reading about this and listening to the news, and here we are in Alabama. Our governor's taking a lot of heat, rightly or wrongly, and I'm not critical. I think a lot of Governor Ivey. And kind of scratched my head, Kathy, and I'm a card-carrying Alabama guy, so I'm not being critical of Alabama. But we put a lot of emphasis on having the #1 football team in this country, but it appears we put some emphasis on being dead last in COVID prevention. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, that is a fair assessment.
And I read something a few years back, and I don't watch television. I read, and I think there's far more value in reading than there is watching television. That's my opinion, which I'm entitled to. That my charge is not to look after the state of Alabama, but my charge is to do what I think is best for the people of this city. And thinking about, if you want to change a nation, start with a city, that the city of Jasper needs to do its part in supporting the great state that we live in and thwarting this new pandemic or pre-pandemic that we know about today. And I came to work on Monday morning with the idea that we're going to do something to promote COVID prevention. And Kathy, the first question I asked, certainly that we're not making anybody do anything. It's promotional, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That falls within the authority of a mayor to do that sort of thing. Is that right?
It does, certainly does.
So now, if we were going to mandate something, we'd have to go to the council, wouldn't we?
Would.
Yeah, but that's not what we're doing. So we're fortunate to have many bright minds working for this city, creative minds, and so I called together two folks on Monday morning, Brent McCarver and Emily Riedel. And I told them, I said, I want to do some sort of promotion to call attention to the importance of considering being vaccinated for the COVID, because we have a big problem and we need to help our city in any way we can in that regard. So we had some discussion, and I had a few thoughts, and certainly I didn't assert my thoughts. So they had full liberty to do and think about what we should do in the city. Back in when we were promoting the census, we put decals on our police cars and other city vehicles. And while our thought there was good, the message was good, our police cruisers, as you see them, they're black in color, and we did our decals in navy blue, and they weren't very conspicuous. You just couldn't see them. I said, we're not going to make that mistake. So after maybe an hour-long discussion with these two individuals, I said, I wish you'd think about what we do and how we convey our message. And 24 hours later, and that being Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, those two individuals were in my office with what you see right in front of us, which I think is a tremendous piece of work. And what we have read and what we're hearing is that the vaccination rate among young people are low. Is that what you read, Ms. Shammy?
It is.
And so they factored in and they said, what can we do? Maybe we can touch young people. And so they came up with a person shooting a basketball, and the caption is "Take the Shot." And to add a local flavor to that, if you look closely, you'll probably see this in the paper today. You will see these decals on all city vehicles. You see the basketball player has a V on his jersey. It happens to be a gold V. Vikings. That's what we're about. And so that's what you're going to see on all of our vehicles. I'm working with our local radio station. I will begin to, along with other folks in city government, to produce some public service announcements that urging people to consider being vaccinated, and if we save one person from COVID, our works, because when you save them, you may very well have saved a life. And if you saved a life, you saved heartbreak, hardship, and the list goes on. Wouldn't you agree, Kathy?
So true.
So that's what we're going to be about in this city, and do our part. Help this city, number one, and to be a player and helping the state of Alabama rise off of the bottom in our efforts to prevent COVID. Now, shifting just a little bit, people are beginning to ask, people that take the initiative to be informed of what's going on, how is this going to impact Jasper? And the answer to that is, I don't know. Now, I wanted Kathy to help us with this, and because back in COVID-1, a lot of people drew criticism and whatever, but the law is such that we just can't take off half-cocked and people doing things that they don't have authority to do. So we go back to what I mentioned here. Doing this promotion is clearly my call. Any mandates or that sort of thing is requires the council to take action. Now, Kathy, under Alabama law, not a city ordinance, but I believe under Alabama law, the mayor is granted certain emergency powers. Is that right?
That is correct.
And the council can expand the mayor's emergency powers.
Correct.
And we had a discussion about that just this past Tuesday at our council meeting, and I have some expanded authorities which I have never used in an irresponsible manner. But if we were to have a major outbreak that it required immediate attention, then I could take whatever action I thought was appropriate, and then as soon as we'd convene the council to either endorse what I've done or make adjustments.
That's correct. One thing, too, you have to be careful not to run afoul of state law, because the state of Alabama still has some say in what you can and can't do.
Now, the charge, when I was sworn in as mayor, when any other mayor in Alabama was sworn in, they're swearing in, and I carry this card in my pocket. And so if you see me doing something, I'm not shooting from the hip. But here's what it says. David O'Meara is the duly sworn mayor of the city of Jasper and therefore is authorized to enforce the laws and regulations of the city of Jasper and the state of Alabama.
That's correct.
And that's not made up. That's not something I wrote. No. Now, if the state comes with directives, orders, or whatever, we will be in lockstep with them. That's what we have to do, and have full compliance with the law. That's what we will do. Now, as I said, if we had something that would happen here, it's unique to the city of Jasper, then it would be my call initially, and then we would convene the council for further direction or adjustments to any call that I might make. Now, what I know about this council, having worked with them for about 4.5 years, they're not going to be derelict in their responsibilities. They're going to be proactive and supporting and complying with any directives that may come from Montgomery. Will they come? I don't know. Now, I'm beginning to get some calls, and I can understand this. Are we going to have a homecoming parade? Are we going to be able to hold foothills? Or we're going to have to start wearing masks again? I hope that the answer to that is that we will not be impacted, but I can't guarantee you that. And what I want to leave with you, and I want it to be documented, and Kathy, I think you'll agree with me, that whatever directive we get from the state, we're going to comply with. And we're not going to be in any irresponsible fashion put some onerous burden on the people of this city. So, and I appreciate people being forward thinking and wondering if these things can happen. As I told our council, and you can vouch for me in this, Kathy, that I can see where we could be put in a position where we have to make some very tough decisions in a very short period of time. And believe me, that's not fun. But this council and this mayor and the support of the city clerk will be proactive and do what we feel is best for the city of Jasper. So, and we'll follow the law. We'll follow the order that's laid out, how you run the city. Nobody will be shooting from the hip. Maybe some things come along that you don't like, but if it comes from the state of Alabama, we're going to support it. We're going to enforce it.
Exactly. Have to.
Right. And you agree with that, Kathy? So I hope you'll keep an eye out. We are working now to get our decals produced for our vehicles. I want to commend Brent and Emily. Like I said, it's Brent McCarver's idea, Emily Riedel's production, and just a great piece of work. And it conveys the message that we wanted to convey perfectly, and it gives us a local flavor.
I love it.
Yeah, good. So we're pleased to have you with us today. If you have questions about anything, in particular about COVID and what lies ahead, please let us know, and we'll give you our best answer. But at this point in time, we don't know. Will what's happening now reverse course or subside? I certainly hope so. But if it does not, it's my best guess that you're going to see some things promulgated at the state level that a lot of people don't like, but that's the responsibility of state government. And as I said before, we'll be in lockstep in full support of it. Thank you for being with us, and we'll look forward to being with you next week.